All right, hi everybody. This is in a different spot today. We're in my garage. I have to go on a 3-day plane trip this time. I can't take a Tegu with me because I am flying and there's a slight echo in here. So hopefully my mic is doing a pretty good job not picking that up. I'm gonna leave Sassy in here. Sassy cannot stay in her 8x5, 8x4.5 enclosure. She will bloody herself up, being in there more than a day. She would just really struggle to be in there. She would turn the inside of that into a blender. I mean, literally, and I just cannot do that to these Tegus. Maybe that's my fault because I've pampered them and they're used to getting out and free roaming around and being in a big room, but that's just the way it is. It's kind of how I brought them up. So this is my large garage. I've Tegu proofed it. There's lots of stuff that she's going to be able to do and crawl on, and hopefully not. I removed my motorcycle, my e-bike, my e-motorcycle, my gas motorcycle, and my expensive mountain bike, full suspension mountain bike. She would obliterate those if those were left in here. And of course, my car is going with me to the airport, and so I've put certain things up that I don't want her, because she will crawl and climb on everything, and her nails will just tear up, put scratches in everything. And so I don't like scratches and stuff like that. But I'm gonna put her in here. Here's a makeshift hide for her, and I've got a baby pool with some water in here. And hopefully, today it's gonna be in the low 90s, and then next few days maybe in the hundreds the weather's showing. So it's gonna get hot in here, but I mean, Tegus can withstand, 100, 105 degrees. I mean, that's probably what they prefer. And then it'll cool down in the evening time, back down to about 79 degrees. And the floor always is concrete in here, and it stays cool, cooler than the air. And also too, the air heat rises, so it's warmer up here where my head is and cooler down there towards the ground. So I mean, it's just the only option I have. Mac is in the house in a room by himself, and the Tegus can't stay in the room together anymore. It's not safe. But I've got something for Sassy here. I've got to tie her up, maybe help her to sleep and not be so roamy around. But I got her a little small rat. She's going to go ballistic on that, and I got a glove on because I'm gonna dangle it, and potentially that she can jump up and get my hand. But she sees it now. She loves rats and mice, and she loves them alive and run after them. And I just don't do that. It just breaks my heart. But so I got the rat here. She sees it and she's stalking it. Let's see. She can't get any traction to jump. Oh, she got it. She'll eat that up really fast. And that's actually pretty good size for Sassy. I don't feed her a lot of mice and rats because I just don't have them. That's my Nicaraguan boa's part of his frozen food that I have for him. So I sacrificed one for Sassy. She loves mice and whole prey. That's her favorite meat, and she just loves to see a rat or a mouse. It's just very stimulating for her. So she ate that really quickly. So she could eat probably a twice the size. But she's going to be left here in the garage. She thinks it might, because this is white. But she's going to be left here in the garage, and hopefully she'll go in the little crate that I have set up here, and I have a pillow in there that she can get on. But she has this whole garage to walk around and climb and be destructive. She's a very destructive Tegu. She tears up carpet, she tears up the walls, and in here she can't do any of that. So hopefully it doesn't get. I don't think it's going to get terribly hot, even if it's a 100 degree day. It'll get warm in here, but they should be able to handle that. For my sanity, I've got a camera, a 360 camera right there that I can monitor from my cell phone while I'm gone. And this is just, I'll just do a kind of sweep of the garage. So she has plenty of room, and it would be not a good idea to leave her in a small cage for 3 days with no interaction. She would go crazy. And so this is a really big garage. This is probably the proper space for her, and maybe not quite this big, but Tegus need a lot of space. My garage door, and I've got that safety bolted so no one can open it or break in, and if I come back for some crazy reason, I've got it disconnected at the electric door opener, and I got it locked right here so so I don't accidentally open it. All right, I'm making this video. By the time I got back, I was gone. Monday, Tuesday, and I was supposed to be gone for Thursday. But I watched the weather radar, and my app is very accurate, and it said today in Dallas it was between 103 and 104 degrees. And so, and the atmospheric feel-like conditions, it was rating that at 115 degrees. And my Tegus can't do that. I mean, they prefer, in the 80s to the very low 90s. And even my basking spots, 105, 107, and they're only under that heat lamp for maybe 20 minutes, and then they're on the opposite side of the cage, flattened out on the cool wood to dissipate some of that heat. So I had to come home. I had to kick ass and finish my job really quickly, and now I'm back in the garage. I've got my temp gun. I'm just going to measure the concrete. It doesn't seem as hot. At the airport, my car was under 4 layers of parking, and when I got to my car, and so it was in the shade under an open, big concrete, massive parking lot, and my car said it was 101 just sitting there for a day and a half, and so that's pretty hot, just sitting 4 levels down in the shade on with no sun hitting it. That's pretty hot. So I've got my temp gun. See if you can see that. So it says it's only 94, 93 in here. Make sure you can see that, 93. So that's not terrible. I mean, maybe I panicked and it wasn't as hot as I thought it was. Well, the floor was colder than what the rest of the garage. 91 degrees. Back here is more shaded area. This is outside the back of the garage, and it's dirt, and so it's going to be probably cooler back over here. So I don't even know where Sassy is in here. So we're going to find Sassy now. Hopefully she didn't get out somehow. All right, so here she is. Woo! She was over behind those tires over there in the corner, and she's actually cool. She's not super, super hot. I just freak out about these lizards, man. They are such a huge part of my life that they're always on my mind. And like I've maybe mentioned in other videos, I've put so much effort and love into raising these Tegus from little babies. It would be heartbreaking to come home and see one of these animals dead. I mean, it would just be totally heartbreaking. It would shatter my soul. So I raced home to get her, only to get her, because Mac, my other Tegu, is inside and it's air conditioned, and so he stays about 80, under 90, about 85 degrees. And so when I just saw 115 degrees, 105, 104 degrees in this detached garage, I was like, it's probably 115 degrees in there for hours and hours and hours, and that's too much for at least my Tegus. would do 115 degrees under a basking light for maybe 10 minutes and then be done with that. So I'm so glad to report she's alive and she's feisty. She was sound asleep over there in the corner where the tires are. I'll take you over there to show you. So she was just right back here behind this tire, back there in the corner where it was cool against this wall on the concrete. So the concrete's a little cooler than the air here, and then up there even higher, it's even hotter. So good news, she's alive. All right, I'm back in the house, and you can see I got so sweaty just having my regular cotton t-shirt on. Had to take that off. That whole shirt got wet. Texas weather, and it's happening in a lot of places. Arizona, California, Florida, just this insanely hot and humid weather. I mean, comparable to 300 degrees on the oven, and you let it warm up for 15, 20 minutes, to preheat it. You open it up and just billowing heat hits you, and you're like, oh, it just makes you back up. And that's how it is walking just out the door. It's really that bad. And I got really freaked out. My Tegus are a part of me, man. They're just like a little extension. I care about them that much, as I mentioned that I put so much time and effort, and basically that's my love to them to grow up and and want to have them with me when they're 10 years old, 12 years old, 15 years old. Just wanted to touch base with you. Man, I'm just dripping. It's terrible. It's terrible. But I'm glad I'm home and I see that she's all right, because that was really stressing me out. And Mac is in the room right back here, and he's good. He didn't get overheated, but my Tegus like it about 92, 88, 92 degrees, and then it gets much hotter than that, and they're looking for cold spots. They're looking to cool down. And so it was really, really close to about 97, 98, 99 degrees out in that detached garage that I have. And that's really just too hot for 5 hours straight. But enough said. Hopefully you enjoy my video and get something out of it, and just my life, everything I do. All right, it's the next day, and it's a few temps cooler today, but let's look at the temperature of the concrete outside on this extreme heat day. I'm gonna see if you can see that. 147, 148, 149, 126. Let's measure the black. 165. But let's measure in here on the floor. 95. 104. 100. So I just thought it'd be good to shoot some additional video and document what the temperatures are. And again, it's a couple of degrees cooler today than it was yesterday. Really hot, really humid. Like I said, with that talking about the opening an oven door, that it's terribly, terribly hot. Look, I've only been out here for 2 minutes, and I'm already starting to perspire, and my shirt's already starting to get wet. And I got to leave my Tegus, again, both of them, next week for 4 days, well, 3.5 days. And so I'm not going to put Sassy or Manny back in the garage. I have to come up with another solution to keep them separated, but give them enough space so that they can live and manage for 3.5 days. We'll see what I do. All right, bye-bye.